So I have been listening to a lot of speakers, and all of us are resonating very similar thoughts. And because this is a new topic and very good presentation. Thank you, Yanis. It was very, very well explained, and all the other speakers like Neelkant and whoever has presented early in the morning. And I'm going to resonate the same thing, but my focus is more going to be uh, towards the business side for non-technical people, because that is what one thing that has changed. As someone told that AI is very old, right? AI started in 1956, but it was only being used by researchers and big companies who had the computational power and the you can say the computing power that was there. But now, since the computing power has been gone to the cloud, right, and more it has reduced, and the AI has now becoming accessible to the public. And with the launch of this generative AI in November 2022, it has been now on the mobiles of everyone who has an internet connection. Now they can at least go on and start using ChatGPT and start playing with and seeing the power of AI that is there. So now many people are talking about these things, because I little bit, let me share my screen and you can confirm if you can see my screen. Uh,
Yes, it's visible.
yeah, visible. So let me do on the full screen mode. Yes, let me know if you can see the full screen mode, because can you see the full screen mode?
Yes.
Uh, Okay, cool. So a little bit about me. So I have around 18 plus years of experience. So, and I was, when I started using data science and AI, it was there was nothing called, this was not such a buzzword. It was, I was like a statistician in my company in Hewlett Packard, where I used to build predictive models for the B2B sales that is going to happen. And we were called statisticians. And I have seen how it has progressed, and now what people are talking about it. So coming from the history, but what is my main focus for today's session is not to go in technical, because many of the users are also who are new to AI, who want to understand how they can use AI in their work or in their business. So I am little bit now going to focus on basics of how AI can be learned by people who are in the call, who have not been coding, and who can at least start using the power of AI. And the new and focus of this call is more towards the generative AI space. And how I'm going to now go ahead about this is how it is going to first of all, what is AI? Little bit about AI that I talk about. What is the impact of AI on the business verticals? What are the specific use cases? And a little bit about prompt engineering I will talk. How we can create visuals using DALI 2 and Mid Journey and all those things. And what is the conclusion and takeaway of this quick 20 minutes talk? So what is generative AI? Now, specifically, we all have talking about generative AI, and how I define it this is not a statistical definition, but a business definition. It is designed to generate new content. The content can be anything. It can be text, it can be audio, video, and sound. And there are mainly three phases of this generative AI process that is there. The first one is the input, where we do the prompt engineering, how the input is coming to the AI engine. So first, I can say the phase is the prompt engineering part or the input part. Then what happens after we put the input? It goes to the AI engine. It can be large language model, or what Yasin showed, so many models, so much technical, whatever it has. But for a layman, it is just a black box that whatever you are putting in, it is uh, it works on the sequence principle, right? If you have three words like what is your favorite dish, what is the probability of the to come pizza, what is the probability for it to come spaghetti, that is according to the all the information that is there in the web. That is, and we get a probability. So it's basically like a sequence model. And what we have, the third thing is the output that is as desired. Here it is important, and it is very much different from the normal AI is, here we have control over the input. That is the prompt engineering. How specific we give the prompt, that is the way we get the output. And suppose in traditional predictive models, you cannot change the input and play around with it so much as a user. But here you can play around. You can try to tweak the prompts to get output. That's why I mentioned output as desired. Now, coming back, this thing I wanted to talk a little bit earlier about types of artificial intelligence. I define it. This is not a standard industry definition, but now because of this generative AI boom, I define the types of AI that I tell are: one is the internal AI, because people confuse generative AI and with the data analytics and statistics. So I keep it separate. I keep internal AI is for the company who has their data, the data analytics, predictive analytics, whatever analytics you are doing for your internal company, in which you are the owner of the data. You get the data, you process the data, you store the data, and it is your data, and you work for it, and you get an output. That is the traditional AI, which I have also worked for around 17 and a half years. And now the new thing is the external AI, the generative AI, which we are talking about. Because this differentiation, I tell people, because people start confusing little bit. Is analytics also part of generative AI? For now, we are keeping it separate, because generative AI, as I told you, it works on the prompts that we are giving, and it searches the large language models, which is trained on the data that is on the web, or whatever corpus of data that we have. So it is a little bit different here. So now, coming to some of the business use cases that I we are going to talk about at a uh, every business. What we see, there are mainly 6 to 7 verticals. 6 verticals here I am showing, that you can use this generative AI. So it can be any domain. I am not talking about domains. It can be any type of business, but these verticals, every this generative AI can be used. It can be used for marketing and sales. It can be used for operations, IT and engineering, risk and legal, HR, and the most used right now, it is in the employee optimization and the utility. Every employee who is working in any company, it can be a entrepreneur or it can be a professional, he is doing a lot of repetitive tasks, like writing emails, responding to clients, changing the translations, changing the tones, uh, creating MOMs, reports. Everything can come in the sixth part that I'm showing here, which I will talk to about this detail. Any domain, we can use these 6 types of verticals. And depending upon the verticals, like suppose I have been in software and IT space. IT and engineering has more weightage. I am giving more time to IT and engineering as a software company. So it depends upon the type of domain, but most of the companies, if it is a SMB or a large enterprise, they will have all these 6 main verticals where AI is used. Finance, I have not kept it here, because finance is little bit still till now generative AI in finance. There is some gaps that I am not also from the finance background, so I don't want to talk about that, because it is a very you can say sensitive topic, finance, when it comes to. Now I will take for every 6 verticals that I have told, and this mainly is coming from my experience talking to industry leaders, from some of the McKinsey report, from the some of the reports that were published by Google and by the some surveys. So it is a combination of all those things that are there. So, and it is in marketing and sales, we all have been using it. Personally, in my company, 50% of the work is of marketing and sales is happening through these AI tools. Right. I can just, I don't want to read everything out, but it is a very quick scenario. I can also mention that the sales copies that we do, before ChatGPT was there, when we were only active on LinkedIn platform. But now our team has time to go on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. So the same content that we are creating for LinkedIn, we are using these tools to spread across. I'm just giving a personal example here, because it is very related to my company, but many of the companies are also, they can now spread. It is not that I have fired resources, right? I have not fired anyone. I am just now increased the scope of work. Before it was like people were only working on one particular platform, and the same, because I'm still creating content on LinkedIn through and repurposing it, and this is really helping us also optimizing and creating content for LinkedIn, like how I can give the idea. Like suppose I've written an article. I weekly I write an article. I can give that article to these tools, and it can summarize me as a good LinkedIn post and give me a with a hook and a call to action. It can give me those things and a hashtag. Similarly for YouTube, After generative AI started, I have started my YouTube channel. I was always delaying the because of my time constraint and doing all the work. But now because of these tools, I've started my YouTube channel as well. So this is helping me spread, and any business spread. Operations, it is a very wide use case. Chatbots that are there now, the chatbots experience, we all know, is right now it is not that great. We all want to talk to human agents, right? We But here, these tools will help making the experience much better and connecting to the right department. And we will see more and more in operations that will be there. And also how you can detect anomalies and all those things that are there, cross sell, upsell, and all those things. I'm also using personally a lot in the IT engineering space, because the codes that I write, I have to do a lot of documentation, because as a coder, we all know that coding is one part, but documentation, maintaining the details of that processes, documentation and all, takes a lot of time. So these tools really help us to do those things. Like you are doing some experiment in your data science or the work, you want to create some synthetic data, you want to create some random synthetic data of any scenario to test your models and all those things. These tools are very good to help you doing research and experimentation work as well. Coming to risk and legal, it is also many of legal we have, we file for IP, we file for NDAs. So now, to be honest, for creating NDAs specific to different type of clients, we are using these tools, because it will give us, like, we give the scenario, please help us create an NDA document for this thing. Uh, Surely every output that has comes, we need to have a human review. People say that in many of my seminars, they ask me, can we trust the output? No, we cannot trust the output, because as I told you, it is a probability of the next word that is going to come. You always need to have your due diligence. One example I can give you for translation. So I have my academy, I do my courses in English. I thought I can use these tools and convert my you can say courses to other languages, which was not possible. Because of the quality and the way I talk in English, when you translate it directly to a different language, it does not work. So here, these things you need to be careful. You need to review from an expert. Like suppose for me, Arabic, when it got translated to Arabic, I needed an Arabic friend to review it, to go through it, and to check whether this can be used and consumed by a Arabic speaking person or a French speaking person, and then only you can use it. There may be little bit more changes that has to be done, but you need to always have that particular understanding about this. Now coming to the employee HR part, you also know that employees letters and all those things, your experience letter, lot of policies and all can be used really to give them a structure to work around that. And we have employee utilization, which every one of us are already using. Communication, presentations, now there are actually tools in which you just give them a article text, they will help you to give an idea, a structure of your uh, presentation. Also summaries, like I use it a lot for research papers. There are 20 to 30 pages research papers. I put the research paper and I tell them to summarize it. So those are the things that you can also start using it in a very powerful manner. So now quickly talking about prompt engineering. So we all know about prompt engineering. There are two ways you can write a prompt, right? Write a poem about venture capitalist. But if you want to go detailed, as some we also know, right? If you want proper answers and you want a different quality, you can add the things that are in yellow, right? The thing will give you, both will give you an output, but which one will give you the better output? The second one, right? Because you are mentioning that you want a short melancholic with a focus on Silicon Valley Bank in the style of Emily Dixon, who was she was a very famous poet in US. So it was going to give you a very better. So more the details, more the better output that is there for business users also. Now this is a simple example I show people, but this is not these are mainly the four types of prompt. Any prompt that we do can be divided into four types. One is instructions, like you give an instruction like behave as a data scientist. Question, you can ask him a question that we always do. We can give them the input data to understand that this is the uh, input data, like this is a research paper, give me a summary, and then we can give examples, like talk like Emily Dixon that I showed you earlier. So now I will go, I have less time, so I'll just quickly talk. Like this is one example that I gave you. A person, if you want to write an article, you will just write like this. But generally when I write, or when professionals write, we have a template behind it. The template will do something like this. It will be so detailed, and it is basically, this is an article that will give you the type you are writing, like the data scientist, an SEO writer, the tone that is there, the conversational style, and the formal tone. And also you can see HTML. I needed after the article, I needed to put on my website with hyperlinks and subheading with hyperlinks. And also I'm asking them to give you an HTML code as well after the article. So the article will come, I will review the article, and then I'll also get the HTML code to put on my website. So this is the very much detailed that is there. Will this so the difference between this article and this article is going to be a lot, right? Most of the beginners are going to write the article in the top way, but if you are a professional and if you are a business owner and you want to differentiate yourself, you need to be so much detailed. Now going to the sample of the output that I'm showing you, right? The sample of this HTML, it looks like this. An article that has come on my website. Generally, I used to take 3 hours before generative AI, because I had to write the article, research, well-researched article. I have to write there's an index. There index, there is an FAQ where people can click the here and it can go down, right? So basically it's like a hyperlink within the document. And this is a way. And also images that I've created from this is from DALI 2, which I will also talk about. But this article used to take me 3 hours, but now it takes me 10 minutes by using these tools. And we all write articles for our blogs, for our websites, for SEO, and this tool and this technique is really saved a lot of time for me. And now I'm writing more regularly. So now one more example, I will show you one more sample. Before that, as I showed you tones, right? I showed you there are tones and writing styles. So there are basically, there are much more tones, but these are the main ones that are there. And also one thing that you said, I use the formal tone, because, and I played around with it. I tried different tones, formal looked the best. And also you can train it in your tone. Like suppose you give them some text that you have written before, and try to find out what was the common tone that your audience is you can say familiar with. You can also try to train GPT to tell you that. And similarly for writing style, there are so many writing styles, and I used conversational for the example above. And you can also train the GPT to know your writing style. One more business use case I did recently, what I wanted to tell you is, I created an app on my website. So background about me is also I have an academy, Decoding Data Science Academy, right? And people ask me a lot of doubts about topics like p value, anything that is there. I just gave a simple example. If you go to GPT and you type interval, you may get random things, right? Because interval can be movie interval, it can be anything. But the way output is coming here, you can see it is coming very much specific from the data science related topic. And how I have done this is, I am putting the template here, explain me about the topic, and then whatever the name that person is putting, like interval in data science, in a simple manner to a eighth grader with elaborate example. So it is going to tell about interval, then it is going to tell about an example for, and anyone who has to play around with p-value or any statistical term or any term. If you put in ChatGPT, you will get lost, because it will not do anything. You can, but this prompt template that I'm showing you, that I have made here, is going to make sure that it is going to be in data science itself, and it is going to be simple explanation to what you do to eighth grader with an example. So this will give you an output that is very relevant, and it will hallucinate less compared to if you're just giving an access to ChatGPT to students that is there. So, and this is one of the thing that we can have. I have 2 more minutes, like an image that is there, how we can create an image. Giving, there is a limit of 200 characters, and in DALI 2 that we can try with. How specific you are, like create, I have written 200 character words of this image. The more you go elaborate, the more better the image will be. And from here only I generate images for my articles. This is an image just to show Burj Khalifa, flying taxis, snowing, and it can be used. More the details you give, more the creative you can become, and you can put these in your articles and in your social media content that is there. So, quick takeaways that I want to give you, and everyone is echoing the same thing. I have given you a wide variety of use cases that are there. Identify one use case that you can start working on today. It can be anything like what you are doing right now. If you're taking 2 hours to do that, use these tools. You will at least save 50% of your time in that, and you can focus on the other things. This is what I tell in all my workshops and seminars and in my talks. And the second thing is start using prompt engineering the way I told you in details, so that you can ask the right questions to get the output that you desire. And you, for businesses, you don't need to be go so technical in these two things. You can do it with normal tools that is available, and once you are comfortable with that, you can uh, go more and more deeper, like the way I did here. So this app I just made it yesterday after learning about the all the other things that are there. And my LinkedIn is here. I would really like to connect with all of you. And this, I hope this quick presentation about business use cases was helpful. And thank you everyone, and I'm open for any questions. Thank you, Samrita.
Thank you so much, Mohammed, for your valuable insights. So we have your first question. It's from Martin. He says, how do you get ChatGPT to respond with a specific length? He has added his insights also. He says, I find it tends to ignore response length guidance that I give it.
Yes, so this is one problem, like the about numbers, right? We all know that ChatGPT cannot be used as a calculator and counting of characters. So this is one of the problems that are there. So generally, what I do, if even if you say write in 10 words or write in 30, 40 words, it will try to approximate that, but it will not tell that. So what I generally do is I put sentences. So this is what hack that I found if I'm using directly just ChatGPT is to mention in write in 3 or 4 sentences. If I give them the length, exact length, it will, as you told it, because it does not have the feature to count, right? And that functionality is not there as of now. So that is the way I do it. Maybe there are some better ways, but I have seen sentences will give me a better output. And if I put uh, the length parameter of words, sometimes the output does not come that properly. But how, as we know, it works on a sequence of sequence way, right? So if you put sentences, after creating one sentence, it will create the second sentence, then it is going to create the third sentence and going to stop. But and if you give them the length word that stop in 50 words, then sometimes it is plus, it does not give you exactly. It may have a margin of error of 10 to 20, 10-15%. That is, personally, this is what I have seen.
So we have your second question.
Hmm.
So Martin asks, have you tried using token as length indicators?
Uh, I have not used in tokens directly as length indicators. I have not used that as of now, because as I told you, this is for the backend. This is not for the chat GPT. But when we are playing with the backend, with when we are playing with land chain and we are doing large language model programming, then these things little help us when we are doing the chunking and all those things. Then we have used tokens, but not for output directly in GPT, chat GPT. Thank you, Martin. Any more questions?
Well, I guess that marks the end of our Q&A series. So thank you so much, Mohammed, for your valuable insights and joining us today.